Welcome to another exciting video. Today we're diving into a topic that's both fascinating and crucial: how to spot and deal with people who thrive on causing chaos and harm. Imagine this. You're hanging out with someone, trusting them, only to find out they're the source of your distress. It's a harsh reality, but recognizing these people can change your life. Let's explore how Stoic wisdom can help us identify and handle these toxic individuals. Stick with me till the end, and I'll share some powerful tips on protecting your peace and well-being. 1. Understanding the deceptive charm. You know the type. They walk into a room and light it up. They make everyone feel special, like you've just found a new best friend. Their charm is intoxicating. But here's the thing. Appearances can be deceiving. These people might be hiding a darker side behind that charm. The Stoics teach us to look beyond the surface, using rational thought and observation. Over time, you might notice that this charming person always needs to be the center of attention. They talk over you, interrupt, or subtly put you down. These aren't just quirks, they're red flags. The Stoics would advise us to observe these behaviors with a clear mind, free from the excitement of their charisma. Imagine you're at a party. This person is telling jokes, captivating everyone. At first, it feels great to be around them. But as the evening progresses, you realize they're dominating every conversation, redirecting every topic back to themselves. This is where the Stoic principle of apatheia, or being undisturbed by external things, comes in handy. By staying emotionally balanced, you can see through their act and recognize the self-centered nature beneath. Pay attention to how they react when things don't go their way. A genuinely kind person handles disappointments with grace. But someone who's just playing a role might become angry or defensive, trying to manipulate the situation to regain control. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to be wary of those who display anger and manipulation, as these are not traits of a rational, virtuous person. Take your time and trust your instincts. The Stoics believed in the power of observation and the importance of not rushing to judgment. Epictetus taught us to carefully evaluate the character of those we allow into our lives. So, if someone seems too good to be true, give yourself the space to observe their actions over time. Notice how they treat others, especially when they think no one is watching. True character is revealed in how a person behaves when they aren't trying to impress anyone. 2. Recognizing a lack of empathy. Empathy is the glue that holds meaningful relationships together. It's the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. But some people completely lack this essential trait. They don't care how their actions affect others, leading to devastating consequences. The Stoics emphasize compassion and understanding as fundamental virtues. Marcus Aurelius often spoke about the interconnectedness of humanity and the need to consider others' well-being. So, when you encounter someone who shows blatant disregard for others' feelings, it's a serious red flag. Imagine sharing something deeply personal with a friend, hoping for comfort or understanding, but they brush off your feelings or mock your vulnerability. This lack of empathy makes you feel isolated and misunderstood. It's not just about them not being there for you in tough times. They won't share in your joy or celebrate your successes either. Instead, they might undermine your achievements or take credit for them. Consider a boss who pushes employees to the brink, showing no concern for their well-being. They demand long hours without fair compensation, ignore requests for time off, or publicly criticize employees. This creates a toxic work environment where people feel undervalued and stressed. The Stoics would advise us to maintain our inner peace and integrity, recognizing that the lack of empathy in others reflects their character, not ours. People who lack empathy might engage in cruel actions without any guilt or remorse. They lie, cheat, or inflict harm without a second thought about the pain they cause. Seneca emphasized kindness and justice, teaching that our actions should always reflect our inner virtue. When someone lacks empathy, they're fundamentally disconnected from these values. A lack of empathy is evident in smaller, everyday interactions too. Someone might constantly interrupt conversations to talk about themselves, show little interest in others, or fail to offer help when it's needed. These minor annoyances add up to a pattern of behavior that reveals a deeper issue. The Stoics would remind us to be observant and discerning, understanding that these small signs indicate a person's true character. If you're dealing with someone who consistently lacks empathy, it's important to set boundaries to protect your mental and emotional health. The Stoics believed in maintaining our well-being and not allowing others' negativity to disturb our peace. You have the right to distance yourself from those who drain your energy and bring you down. 3. The manipulative nature of deceit. Manipulation involves using deceit or cunning tactics to control or influence others. It's subtle, often insidious, and incredibly damaging. Manipulators twist situations, making you question your reality and bending your will to suit their needs. From a Stoic perspective, clarity of thought and seeing things as they are is crucial. The Stoics taught that our perceptions should be grounded in reality and that we should remain steadfast in our principles. When someone manipulates you, they attempt to cloud your perception and distort reality, making it difficult to stay true to Stoic ideals. A common form of manipulation is gaslighting, where the manipulator makes you doubt your memory, perception, or sanity. They might deny certain events happened or twist your words to make you feel at fault. For example, if you confront a friend about something hurtful they said, they might accuse you of being overly sensitive or misremembering the situation. This erodes your confidence and makes you reliant on their version of reality. Manipulators are also adept at playing the victim, guilt-tripping you into doing things by making you feel responsible for their happiness. You might have a friend who constantly complains about their problems, expecting you to drop everything to help them. They might say things like, "If you were really my friend, you'd do this for me," making you feel obligated to comply. Epictetus emphasized understanding what is within our control and what is not. We cannot control others' actions or emotions, only our response to them. Consider how a manipulator might use flattery or charm to get their way. At first, it feels great. They shower you with compliments and make you feel special. But over time, you notice their praise comes with strings attached. They might compliment you when they want something or need you to do something. This makes you feel like you owe them or need to live up to their expectations to maintain their approval. The Stoics would remind us that true virtue and self-worth come from within, not from the fleeting approval of others. Manipulation can also involve isolation. A manipulative person might try to cut you off from friends and family, making you more dependent on them. They might say things like, "Your friends don't really care about you," or "Your family doesn't understand you like I do." This tactic makes it easier for them to control you because you become more reliant on them for support and validation. The Stoics believed in maintaining strong, supportive relationships, recognizing that we thrive in community. Isolation weakens our support network and makes us more vulnerable to manipulation. Financial manipulation is another tactic used by manipulative people. They might borrow money and never repay it, or control your finances to limit your independence. For instance, a partner might insist on managing all the money in the relationship, making you ask for permission to spend anything. This control over finances makes it difficult to leave the relationship or assert your independence. The Stoics would encourage us to seek self-sufficiency and independence, ensuring we are not unduly influenced or controlled by others. Recognizing manipulation can be challenging, especially when you care about the person involved. The Stoics teach us to be vigilant and discerning, to see things clearly, and to act with integrity. If you suspect someone is manipulating you, take a step back and assess the situation objectively. Are they consistently prioritizing their needs over yours? Do they make you feel guilty or unsure of yourself? Are they trying to control aspects of your life or isolate you from others? It's important to set firm boundaries with manipulators and stand your ground. Communicate clearly and assertively about what you will and will not tolerate. Remember, you have the right to your thoughts, feelings, and actions. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot control how others behave, we can control how we respond. By maintaining our inner strength and clarity, we can protect ourselves from manipulation and stay true to our values. 4. The desire for control. Controlling behavior goes beyond mere preferences or quirks. It's about someone seeking to dominate every aspect of your life, leaving little room for your autonomy. These individuals often disguise their behavior as concern or care, but underneath, it's about power and control. The Stoics, who valued personal freedom and self-control, would see this behavior as fundamentally opposed to living a virtuous life. Control can manifest in many ways. For instance, You might have a friend who insists on always choosing where you go and what you do together. It might seem harmless at first, but over time, you realize your preferences and opinions are consistently ignored or overwritten. They might say things like, "I know what's best for us," or "You'll have more fun if you just listen to me." This isn't about mutual decision-making. It's about exerting their will over you. In relationships, controlling behavior can become even more dangerous. A partner might monitor your whereabouts, demand constant updates on your activities, and even dictate who you can and cannot see. They might go through your phone, check your messages, or insist on knowing all your passwords. This kind of surveillance and micromanagement can make you feel trapped and anxious, constantly walking on eggshells to avoid conflict. Epictetus emphasized the importance of maintaining your inner freedom and autonomy, regardless of external pressures. Control can also come in the form of financial manipulation. A controlling partner or family member might take charge of all financial decisions, doling out money as they see fit, and keeping you financially dependent on them. They might say, "I handle the money because you're not good with finances," or "It's easier if I just take care of everything." This can strip you of your financial independence and make it difficult to leave the relationship or assert your own choices. The Stoics believed in self-sufficiency and managing your own resources wisely, viewing financial control as a form of enslavement that must be resisted. Another way controlling behavior shows up is through isolation. A controlling person might try to cut you off from friends and family, claiming they're the only one who truly understands or cares about you. They might criticize your loved ones, saying things like, "Your friends don't really care about you," or "Your family is toxic." Over time, you might find yourself increasingly isolated, relying solely on the controlling person for support and companionship. The Stoics recognized the importance of community and supportive relationships, seeing isolation as detrimental to both personal growth and well-being. Controlling individuals also often use threats and intimidation to maintain their power. They might threaten to leave you, harm themselves, or even hurt you if you don't comply with their demands. This creates an environment of fear and anxiety, making it difficult to think clearly or make decisions that are best for you. Seneca taught that we should face our fears and not allow others to intimidate us into submission. True courage and wisdom lie in standing firm against such threats and reclaiming our power. It's important to understand that controlling behavior is about more than just wanting things done a certain way. It's about fundamentally undermining your ability to make your own choices and live your own life. The Stoics would advise us to recognize these behaviors for what they are: an attack on our autonomy and a violation of our personal freedom. By staying true to our values and maintaining our inner strength, we can resist the influence of controlling individuals and reclaim our right to live freely. If you find yourself dealing with someone who exhibits controlling behavior, it's crucial to set firm boundaries and assert your independence. Communicate clearly about your needs and limits, and don't be afraid to seek support from others who understand your situation. Remember, the Stoics teach us that we cannot control others, but we can control our reactions and decisions. By staying grounded in our principles and valuing our autonomy, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of controlling behavior and live more authentic, fulfilling lives. 5. The web of lies. Pathological lying goes beyond the occasional white lie. It's about someone who constantly deceives, often without any apparent reason. They fabricate stories, manipulate facts, and distort reality to suit their needs or gain an advantage. This behavior can be incredibly damaging, eroding trust and creating a web of deceit that's difficult to untangle. The Stoics value truth and integrity above all else, believing that a virtuous life was grounded in honesty and that deceit was a fundamental betrayal of one's character. Marcus Aurelius emphasized living in accordance with nature, aligning our actions with truth and reason. When someone lies pathologically, they live in direct opposition to these principles, creating a false reality that benefits only themselves. Pathological lying can take many forms. It might start with small, seemingly harmless lies, like embellishing a story to make themselves look better or more interesting. Over time, these lies can escalate, covering up mistakes or wrongdoings and manipulating others to achieve their goals. A pathological liar might claim to have accomplished things they haven't, take credit for others' work, or make up stories about their past to gain sympathy or admiration. This constant dishonesty creates a distorted view of reality, where you can never be sure what's true and what's fabricated. Consider how a pathological liar might operate in the workplace. They might lie about their qualifications, exaggerate their contributions to projects, or spread false rumors about colleagues to sabotage them. This creates a toxic environment where trust is undermined, and people are constantly on edge, unsure of who to believe. The Stoics would advise us to remain steadfast in our integrity, not allowing ourselves to be swayed by the deceitful actions of others. Epictetus taught that we should focus on what we can control, our thoughts and actions, and not be disturbed by the dishonesty of those around us. In personal relationships, pathological lying can be even more destructive. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who constantly lies about their whereabouts, their past, or their feelings. This behavior makes you feel insecure, anxious, and constantly questioning your perceptions. You might find yourself doubting your memory or second-guessing your instincts, which is exactly what the liar wants. They thrive on creating confusion and instability, keeping you off balance so they can maintain control. The Stoics would remind us to trust our judgment and not be swayed by the manipulations of others. Seneca taught that true peace comes from within, and that we should not allow the deceit of others to disturb our inner tranquility. One of the most insidious aspects of pathological lying is that it's often difficult to detect at first. Pathological liars can be incredibly convincing, telling their lies with such confidence and detail that it's hard not to believe them. They might mix truth with lies, making it even more challenging to discern what's real. This is where the Stoic principle of vigilance comes into play. We must remain observant and critical, not taking things at face value, but instead seeking the truth through careful consideration and evidence. When you catch someone in a lie, pay attention to how they react. Do they become defensive or aggressive? Do they try to turn the tables and blame you? Or do they offer a plausible explanation that seems to make sense, even if it's just another layer of deceit? A genuine person will admit their mistakes and strive to correct them, while a pathological liar will double down on their falsehoods, weaving an even more intricate web of lies. The Stoics would counsel us to remain calm and rational in the face of such behavior, recognizing it for what it is and not allowing it to provoke us. It's also important to consider the long-term impact of pathological lying. Over time, it can erode the very foundation of trust that any relationship is built upon. Once trust is broken, it's incredibly difficult to rebuild. You might find yourself constantly suspicious, always wondering if you're being lied to again. This can lead to a toxic cycle of mistrust and resentment. The Stoics believed in the importance of building strong, honest relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. When dealing with a pathological liar, you must decide whether it's worth trying to rebuild that trust or whether it's healthier to distance yourself from their toxic influence. If you find yourself entangled with a pathological liar, it's crucial to set firm boundaries and protect your mental and emotional well-being. The Stoics would advise us to remain true to our values and principles, not allowing ourselves to be dragged down by the deceit of others. Be clear about what you will and will not tolerate, and don't be afraid to walk away from a relationship or situation built on lies. Remember, your peace of mind and integrity are more important than maintaining a connection with someone who consistently deceives you. 6. Setting boundaries for peace. Setting boundaries is one of the most crucial skills you can develop when dealing with difficult or toxic people. Boundaries define what you will and will not accept in your relationships and are essential for protecting your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. The Stoics, who emphasized personal integrity and inner peace, would see boundary setting as fundamental to maintaining a virtuous and tranquil life. First, recognize that setting boundaries is not about being harsh or unkind. It's about respecting yourself and ensuring that others respect you as well. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-respect and living in harmony with our true nature. By setting clear boundaries, you're not only protecting yourself but also fostering healthier interactions with others. Clarity is key when it comes to setting boundaries. Be specific about what behaviors you will not tolerate and communicate this clearly and assertively. For example, if you have a friend who frequently belittles you, you might say, "I appreciate our friendship, but I won't tolerate being spoken to in a disrespectful manner. If this continues, I will have to distance myself." This approach is direct and leaves no room for misinterpretation. According to Stoic principles, this kind of clear communication helps maintain order and respect in relationships. Consistency is also vital in setting boundaries. It's not enough to state your boundaries once and expect others to adhere to them without reminders. You must consistently enforce your boundaries, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasize the importance of discipline and perseverance. By consistently upholding your boundaries, you demonstrate self-respect and teach others how to treat you. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, it's a clear sign that they do not respect you or your limits, and it may be necessary to reassess the relationship. Remember that setting boundaries is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. As relationships evolve, your boundaries may need to be adjusted. For instance, in a work environment, you might need to set boundaries around your availability and workload to prevent burnout. You could say to a colleague or supervisor, "I am happy to help with this project, but I cannot take on additional tasks beyond my current responsibilities." The Stoics would advise us to balance our duties and not overextend ourselves to the detriment of our well-being. Dealing with pushback or resistance is one of the most challenging aspects of setting boundaries. People who are used to getting their way, especially those with controlling or manipulative tendencies, may not take kindly to your newfound assertiveness. They might react with anger, guilt-tripping, or attempts to undermine your confidence. The Stoics teach us to remain calm and steadfast in the face of such challenges. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the importance of maintaining our composure and not being swayed by others' negative emotions. When you encounter resistance, stay firm and remind yourself that your boundaries are necessary for your well-being. In some cases, setting boundaries might mean making difficult decisions, such as distancing yourself from certain individuals or ending toxic relationships. This can be a painful process, but it's essential for preserving your mental and emotional health. The Stoics would remind us that our primary responsibility is to our virtue and well-being. Seneca often spoke about the importance of choosing our associations wisely, recognizing that the company we keep can significantly impact our character and happiness. By distancing yourself from those who consistently violate your boundaries, you make a powerful statement about your self-worth and commitment to living a virtuous life. Seek support from others when setting boundaries. Talk to trusted friends, family members, or a therapist about your experiences and get their input and encouragement. Sharing your struggles and successes with boundary setting can provide you with valuable perspective and strengthen your resolve. The Stoics valued community and the support of like-minded individuals. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the interconnectedness of humanity and the importance of mutual support. By leaning on your support network, you can find the strength to uphold your boundaries and maintain your well-being. Practicing self-care is crucial when setting and maintaining boundaries. This includes taking time for yourself, engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation, and nurturing your physical and mental health. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-care as a foundation for a virtuous life. Epictetus, for example, emphasized the need to care for our well-being so that we can be of service to others and fulfill our responsibilities effectively. By prioritizing self-care, you reinforce the message that your well-being is important and deserving of protection. Remember, setting boundaries is a form of self-respect and self-love. It's about recognizing your value and refusing to allow others to diminish it. The Stoics teach us that our worth is not determined by external factors, but by our actions and integrity. By setting and maintaining boundaries, you live in accordance with these principles and foster a life of peace, virtue, and resilience. Your peace and integrity are worth protecting, no matter who tries to undermine them. Setting boundaries is not just a defense mechanism. It's a declaration of your self-worth and commitment to living a virtuous life. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this helpful, make sure to check out one of the suggested videos on the screen for more insights. Stay strong, stay wise, and keep living your truth.